Hey, it's Ice Age TV Day, Bronco Day 2. I drove this a whopping, 17 miles home. Wow, right? And today's my first day that I'm actually work out of it. And what's really interesting is on my 2022 Ford Bronco Wild Track 4-door with the bead lockers, which, there's just so much information these days. It's overwhelming when you buy a vehicle anymore. There's just so much technology. And apparently these bead locker wheels are the real deal, which that's very impressive. If I can, put these things down to 6 to 8 pounds of pressure and not have the tires blow off the wheel. But that's what the that's what the Ford rep man says where I bought it. So now, if you look here, what's really interesting is that hot pepper red. I was calling it the red hot chili peppers, which, that's the famous band. I kind of like that name personally, but Ford can't use that because it'd be copyright infringements, so that's not going to happen. But anyways, you can really see, look at that. Look at my Expedition. So look at the difference. I mean, that's a huge difference, like an orange, which is kind of interesting. That this vehicle does kind of have an orange paint theme to it to a degree, I guess, because if you can see that, I mean, that's pretty substantial difference from red to hot pepper red. That's ruby red over there. So, hey, follow me along as I drive my Bronco today, probably get 100 miles or more and get some more insight on if this is really, making me eat my words, because so far it is. And it's freezing butt out here. It's cold. So follow me along. So I did my license plate. I put some rubber behind it so it's not actually touching my grill. So it's not going to rub the paint off. I don't want that front funky license plate bracket drilled into my bumper or whatever. So there's a creative idea for you. Just wire ties and some foam behind it. And there you go. All right, you got to kind of pick yourself up to get in this bad boy, which I enjoy that. I really like that spring. Isn't that neat? That is pretty cool, huh? Oh, there comes the wife. All right. One thing that's really nice about this 360 camera is I get to drive off into my ditch, right? But, the Ford HomeLink, I think it's really good. Ford usually does a pretty good job. I mean, it's hit and miss on anything, but for me, I get my gate openers and just pair to that right away. Now, you hear all the noise. That's because I got this thing in the highest temperature right here because it's 25 degrees out. And, but yesterday I was commenting on how I thought this had a lot of wind noise on it, but it doesn't. So I was kind of misinforming people. If you didn't listen to that whole video, it's not the wind noise. It's the it's the heater. It's the heat because it's so cold up here right now, and it's just blasting to get me warm, right? So nice heated seats. I really love that feature. Just really, the vehicle is just a really cool vehicle. I'm so excited that this really is a unique vehicle. I've had the FJ Cruiser, I've had a lot of Tacomas, I've had a bunch of 4Runners, and, like I said yesterday, what you kind of get out of that is, do you get that unique personality? And yes, you're going to get that out of this Bronco, which that's what makes it really exciting, which I'm just so excited that that's what's playing out with this vehicle, because I just really felt from the short little test drives I did on the other Broncos, I just didn't feel that uniqueness out of them. And they're different, setups, different packages. But to me, this just really, there's your 4-wheel drive truck feel type of really nice, it's the good old boys and gals, just that really badass, feel to your drive down the road. That's what it's all about. Yeah, I just turned down the heat and you can see now. You can just hear what's kind of going on here. Another thing I didn't know either was how this has the wireless Apple Play, which for a lot of people out there, I'm sure, like, yeah, well, if you're up to date, the wireless Apple Play now is now the new technology in all these vehicles, which that was kind of, usually you had to have a cord attached to your phone to accomplish that. But no, these vehicles now have the Apple Play with the Waze capability. It's more about the Waze capability. If you know what I mean by that, you can actually program in your, you can get your Waze to pop up. So see there, so it's showing there that, hey, I'm going down the road and I can see what's going on with Waze, which is, I think, is a really good app. It's a really good tool for anybody out there that's not using it. I'd be, there's so much technology out there. I'm sure some people out there that be like, yeah, what's the heck is Waze? But I think most people know what it is. But it's the Google-based, map in your vehicle now, or your phone, where it helps you navigate around. And usually it's pretty reliable. Not always. It can throw you off sometimes. But the whole point is, with all this new technology, it's just really nice to have that feature. But it drains your battery in your phone. And that's why they put their wireless charging station down there. But I'm hearing from forum members it doesn't work that great, or it burns up your phone. But, it's not a big deal. I'll just cord my phone. I'm used to that on my F-150 Tremor. If you follow my videos, that's a whole other conversation. My brand new F-150 Tremor has the wireless, capability, Waze, Apple Play, but it doesn't have a wireless charging station. So you still have to, plug in your USB, port to your phone, which kind of defeats the whole idea of your wireless connection, if you kind of know what I mean, because it drains the battery. It just sucks the heck out of the energy out of these phones with this Bluetooth feeding information to this vehicle. Now, if you kind of listen along, once again, there's not anything radical on the the wind noise, anything more so than me driving any other flat surface vehicle. And that's what you're trying to keep in mind is, this is a lot of material in front of you. This is a lot of resistance. And, a lot of people are complaining about getting rock chips and, broken windshields already. And yeah, I can relate with that because I've had the Jeeps. My FJ Cruiser was notorious for that. And it's just because of the angle of this windshield is so more vertical. It doesn't have that slanted back as much as other vehicles that, when something hits the window, it's going to happen. So, cool. Now, when I kind of first started doing my video this morning, my wife walked out, and my wife is not the car fanatic. Thank God. Talk about going broke beyond broke. Anybody out there is buying cars, you understand the financial commitments and monies. This is huge monies to be buying new vehicles today. It's crazy. You're buying, this is a $60,000 plus, $61,000. And, I didn't pay ADM. Did I get a discount? No. I know some guys have relationships. They got their discount, they saved some money. But, the suggested retail on this vehicle is $60,400 or $900. So, you put tax and tags in that, you're up to 64, 63 grand. That's a lot of money. You put 10, 20 grand down, you still have a huge car payment. Put 30 grand down. You're still going to have a significant, payment, insurance and personal property tax and maintenance. The list goes on and on and on. So my wife, my wife would, I could buy one car and keep it forever and she'd be happy as can be. She just isn't that type of personality. But what's interesting is, I've always bought my wife a car. She's always, since I've been married to my wife since 1996, she's always had a car that I've bought her, and I've bought her new cars all the time. point, she's had 2-3 vehicles at one time, primarily two. And I would usually buy like 2 vehicles at the same time. I had 2 Grand Prix, Pontiac Grand Prix back in the 90s. And then I had the GMC SUVs. And I had, for me to start going through the pages and pages of all the cars I've owned. I mean, I'm not embellishing here. It's like I got a Mercedes cars. Those were actually some of the worst cars I ever owned, believe it or not, back in 2006, 7. BMW, Toyotas, tons of Toyotas, and then like the Ford Explorers, Ford Edge. Just, once again, I'd have to just sit here and spend too much time wasting this and this. So anyways, really the reason I'm bringing this up is I bought a brand new, freshly used, in my eyes, a 2018 Toyota 4Runner Cavalry Blue. And if you watch my videos, that was the Carvana car experience, and it's a really great vehicle. And so I bought that, kind of thinking to myself, that'll probably end up being my wife's next vehicle, because I'm going to get rid of my Ford Explorer Platinum that I have, and I've got a Toyota Avalon TRD that I'm going to let go here eventually as well, and that Toyota 4Runner Cavalry Pro TRD. I mean, she walked out the door this morning, and because I've been driving the heck out of that, and she's like, hey, if you want me to now start driving the Toyota 4Runner Pro, now you have to understand, my wife is not a car person. This isn't something she's fixated on. My wife's a historian, and so this just doesn't really get her going in the morning. But that's a statement about that Toyota, TRD 4Runner Pro Cavalry Blue. So she's literally like, hey, what you want? Whatever you want, can you change out to that? And I'm kind of like, yeah, that works for me now, because I got my Bronco to go play with, which that's really cool. If I didn't have my Bronco, I'd be like, I don't know, yeah, maybe. So the adventures of being married, right? That's that little lesson, I guess, right? Now, if anybody's here, watches a lot of my videos, which I have lots of videos, lots of content, a lot of talk, and, I like to talk and share information. A lot of guys do great jobs on videos where they take these off-road and do the back trails. That's really exciting. I've watched a bunch of them. That's really cool. I mean, I'm really impressed. I haven't done that, so would I feel confident doing that in this? No, I'm not a fool to my capabilities. And yeah, I got a really badass looking Ford Bronco wild track, but would I take it off road right now and start climbing rocks? No, because I'm not going to do it right, and I want to screw things up. I think I'd rather take a beater vehicle and learn that way, or definitely have somebody with me, if you know what I mean, to do the adventure correctly. You learn that as you progress in life. Listen to those that know what they're doing. That's kind of your success, your path to success. So, as far as this Bronco goes, for me, it's a commitment I made in July of 2020, and during that pandemic, I went through some really challenging times, and that's why if you watch my prayer video, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, this is a miracle prayer, and people don't know my personal finances and my circumstances, so on the surface you'd be like, oh yeah, that guy, yeah. Well, I'm fortunate that banks let me borrow money and pay him back. And that's been a blessing to me my whole life. I'm not some rich guy that just has boatloads of money sitting around and just buy everything cash. And that's not my story in life. And my story is I got to go to work and make a living and pay my bills. But I'm a car nut, caraholic, and yeah, would I have more money if I didn't buy all these cars all the time? I would. And that's a challenge in being married, in marriage. My wife a lot of times is like, oh my God, where what other homes or where can we travel in this world without this car addiction? Which, yeah, I'm not going to deny that's a challenge. So, going back to me committing to this back in July of 2020 during the pandemic, I honestly felt like where my business was going and my income Bronco is going, I was like, I don't even think I'll be able to buy this. And if you kind of followed me over this past early summer, I had to dump a lot of vehicles because the financial hardships that I went through, and that's fine. I mean, material things are material things, and I'm not attached to them to divide me between others. That isn't who I am. And my thoughts in life have been very successful. Is, if things are meant to be, they'll play out and you'll be rewarded. If they're not, and you have to force things, it never works out. It's just, that's the biggest danger you should have as a warning sign to you as an individual. And somebody starts trying to force you to do something, that's the wrong direction. It's the wrong way to manage and interact with people. And so when you're having to force things to get something, then it's just not going to work out down at the end of the road. So, and the reason I'm bringing this all up is because for me, literally looking at my business and my career this last spring, summer with the ongoing pandemic, I was just kind of came to closure. The car days were kind of done, and time to reevaluate. To have to just accept it is what it is. So for this vehicle, for me to own this vehicle today, you just don't understand. The things that kind of played out to enable me to buy this vehicle. And anybody out there, is an individual that goes to work every day and saves your money and works hard and wants something, and you have your goals and ideas and values in order, and you really want something, how heartbreaking it can be if that doesn't come through for you, and I've been down that road as well. I've been up and down my whole life. So, pray for a miracle. I mean, that's my new saying in my life. And I have a prayer video. Miracles can happen. How do you pray? And I have to tell you, some of you like, it's a car, dude. It's a car. Well, yeah, it's a financial obligation. I mean, you don't just have a car given to you. So there's a lot of things that have to come into play in order to be able to have the vehicle. So, that's, and so, once again, pray for a miracle. They work for me, so just sharing my enthusiasm of being a proud new owner of the Ford Bronco Wild Track Ford. All right, now we're going to get out on some open road here, which we really haven't done now. Kind of know about these 2.7 motor issues, which I've talked about briefly yesterday in my video I just posted. What are people doing to their Broncos? I don't think they're doing anything to them personally that's creating these problems. So if anybody is saying, well, these motors are blowing up because they don't break them in right, I don't believe that. With today's technology, I think you can run these motors pretty good. I wouldn't go out and be drag racing and towing things with it right now, or go up the side of a mountain. But I think if you do the general, driving conditions, you should be fine. So, some people think that others have been, too hard on their motors and they're blown up for that reason. Not many are saying that, but I don't believe that. So here I am at 71, and, and so look at the RPMs. We're at 2,000 RPMs. Now, I know a lot of people would be like, oh my God, you should be at 55, 60 miles an hour. But here's the thing. With today's 10-speed autos, you can go at higher speeds at lower RPMs. So, I really can't see that if you're going 70 miles an hour in your new Bronco, there goes another one. The Broncos are starting to pop. You are starting to see them on the road. I don't think it's that radical. I can't see that. And sure, somebody may say, well, yeah, but you're putting more stress on the bearings of the axles or the transmission, whatever. Once again, I've owned so many cars, and have I followed like to a T, breaking everyone in? I haven't. I've even had my Hellcats, where I drove one of my Hellcats like 3,300 miles before I did the first oil change. Some people be like, what? No freaking way, man, you're crazy. Should have changed it all at like 500 miles, get the impurities out of it. Yeah, so speaking of that, what do I do with this one, right? Do I change the oil early based on, the what if factor? Yeah, I hear you on that. So, hey, going down the road, danger here is, there's no doubt in my mind, this thing will do 80 miles an hour like nothing. So anybody concerned about this vehicle, power to weight ratio, it's not a big deal. Now, you can probably hear the wind noise, and yeah, I'm getting some noise out of this vehicle, but once again, this is a big box. I mean, I'm sorry, you're just not going to be able to go down the road in a big box and have it be ultra quiet. And part of me says it's a doorless window frame, meaning that the window doesn't have a metal frame around it. So my gut instinct is that being designed that way, you're going to get that air in that, this area right here. I just think you're going to get that because you don't have an actual metal structure there to seal that window into that groove. So I'm sure that's probably a good amount of where the noise comes through. Now, I opted for the hard top because I just had a lot of the Jeep Wrangler soft tops, and what I learned with those over the years was, they're really nice. It is limited to how often you really get to use it between the cold weather, which I got really sick one year. I've got the deadening material on the top of the roof to kind of try to help it be a little quieter. And, I've had a bunch of Wranglers with those soft tops, and oh my gosh. I was just mentioning how the soft top, they're really cool. And the JK series, the JL series, which JK was, the 2010, 11, 12, whatever years. And then once up to 2018, to the JL series. And they redesigned that roof, that, soft top. And, but it was easier to take it down and put it back together, but it's still a project. You just can't get away from that, and that's kind of like, eh. Then I had the one Jeep that had actually the sunroof, which that was pretty cool. That's a really good idea. Whether Ford goes that direction or not, who knows? But anyways, the soft top is just, to me, a lot noisier, even though a lot of the guys in the forum, gals in the forum, are saying they really aren't. It's kind of hard to believe that, but I guess, whatever. But my Jeep Wranglers, I'd put like a light bar over the top of the front of the windshield, and oh my gosh, that light bar would deflect the air movement onto that top, where it would just have a ripple effect. And in the winter months, it was radical. You couldn't even drive down the road without this just smacking noise. And and it was pretty bad. It was dreadful. I wouldn't even drive it on the colder days just because, it was just so noisy. So I'm really happy with my hardtop, even though they've had a lot of issues, a lot of challenges, and I can always switch out and buy a soft top, and the soft top guy can buy a hard top. So at the end of the day, you can get really what you want either way, if you know what I'm saying. All right, got the adaptive cruise on. Boy, I tell you what, look at this, 20 degrees out. I was telling everybody yesterday that today's going to be a really cold day, and certain people were challenging me on that. I said, it's going to be like the teens. For this DC area, it's not really like this that much. We get these cold spells, but it's not like you New Yorkers or, people up out west, or, this Virginia area is usually a pretty mild type of winter, So, counting all the traffic here. It's really neat. Look at that flag. Can you even see it? Got a little flag emblem there. I'll probably take a picture of it on the shifter. So far, really loving my Bronco, my red hot chili pepper Bronco, or my hot pepper red Bronco, right? End of the day, it's all the same, right, Toe? So, pretty cool as I learn more about my vehicle. And where do I go for the sport modes, right? I think is that it? I don't even know. I might really want to put it in sport mode because I'm trying to kind of break it in and figure I don't want to get too radical, right? So enjoying my ride. I'm at 63 miles. Hopefully I get a good 100 plus miles on her today just to start breaking her in. And then I should have put her in four-wheel drive yesterday, but I haven't done that. There's lots of different stories out there in the forum of people having all these little quirks with these vehicles, but you know, it's when you build thousands and thousands of vehicles, you know, some imperfections are going to happen. And Ford's never been like the ultimate quality control company with their products. So it's a Ford. For anybody that's got, you know, if you're a Porsche guy and you're buying this Bronco, you're not going to be happy. I mean, I get it. You're a Porsche guy. You're in a whole different league of the quality of a vehicle. BMW guys, you know, same thing. Mercedes, you know, you got a lot of people that get on these forums or even videos and start critiquing this thing. You know, there's a lot of bashing out there and there's a lot of good going on with the Bronco. And believe it or not, you know, prior to me getting this vehicle, you know, my language was, is the Ford Bronco a fail? You know, does it fail what you're expecting? I mean, for me, you know, waiting close to 18 months to get my vehicle, I mean, I'm thinking, okay, first of all, the production challenge, the pandemic challenge, I get all that. But really what I was kind of really wondering is the product really what Ford presented it to be. And, you know, and I voiced it yesterday in my video. I'm eating my own words, which I'm happy to do that. I'm more than happy to say that I'm so wrong, because this really is a really nice product. But, you know, you start putting this up against, you know, these very expensive Highline European vehicles, you know, even to the point of Toyota to a degree, which I've mentioned throughout some conversations. You know, it's a Ford-built product. I mean, to me, it's fine, you know, but if you want somebody that wants this incredibly pristine, designed, engineered vehicle, I don't think, you know, you're going to be content if you're that level of quality control, if you know what I mean. But keep in mind, it's a Ford Bronco. I mean, you know, the Heritage's vehicle really wasn't designed to be, you know, the over the road, you know, really upgraded, you know, hey, this is so, you know, elegant, if you know what I mean. I mean, I know you guys are saying, yeah, you can't spit it out, but yeah, we get it. So, yeah, all right, just continue my enjoyment here. Wow, as I drive this Bronco, I mean, oh my gosh. Now, this thing definitely, I mean, it definitely has its own personality. I mean, this vehicle, wow, this vehicle, it drives like a big SUV truck, I guess, kind of. I mean, it's kind of hard to explain exactly, you know, for anybody who's watching this and doesn't own one, but, you know, it's like my old H2s. H2s were like that big ass, to me, badass, rough, you know, riding. They really weren't rough riding, but just a big footprint going down the road, truck-like feel. And in this vehicle, I mean, it has every bit of that. It's such a truck type of vehicle. You know, this is not your wimpy feeling, you know, SUV type of vehicle. And I am just taken back about how, as I drive this more and more, how it's just like, wow, this vehicle is so different from any other SUV I've owned. And like I say, you're going back to 2004, 5, 6, when I had my H2s. You know, those were big vehicles. But that's what this radiates. This does not radiate a small vehicle. I mean, if you look at the weights on it, it's substantial. And it's just the way it behaves going down the road, but not in a negative way where it feels, you know, cumbersome or, you know, it walks around or, I mean, it's kind of like the Jeep. To me, it's a bigger footprint Jeep. It's what Jeep should have done a long time ago. They should have put a front independent suspension when they did the JL series. know the Jeep people are totally against that. They want that retro, forever Jeep, solid front axle, rear axle. But if Jeep would have done this to that front independent suspension and, you know, had it the same width of this vehicle, this would radiate a lot of the Jeep type of personality, but better. I can't emphasize enough. For all the Jeep people out there, I've had all the Jeeps. I can post all the different pictures of Jeeps I've owned, and I'm sorry, you know, you cannot compare the Jeep to this vehicle. It's going to lose as far as over-the-road comfort and just really nice driving capability. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've not even used the GOAT mode as far as going to sport mode in this. It's still brand new. I just don't want to do that yet. But yeah, the 392, I know the motors. I've had so many Mopars. The Dodge Charger, the Dodge Challenger, the 392s and all those. 392 in my Dodge, my Ram 2500. I've had the Hellcats. I know the engines. And sure, I'm sure that 392 Wrangler setup is really nice. And, you know, and keep in mind that, yeah, it's going to be faster than this. But at the end of the day, you don't need that. This vehicle doesn't need all that power. It's got more than enough power. This V6 engine's plenty, you know, potent to get yourself in trouble. And as people go by me right now, about 90, 100 miles an hour. So I'm just really, you know, eating my words, because I really just was, prior to buying this vehicle, if you dig into any of my videos, you'll see how I was like, hey, the Bronco, I don't know. I was kind of like, yeah, is it really what everybody thinks it is? And for myself, I really felt like it really wasn't going to be this dramatic of a ride. I really was, you know, borderline to the point I wasn't even buying one. I was really like, you know what, I think I'll just pass and I'll buy something else, you know. So, I mean, if anybody's watching yesterday's video, today's video, because I post this again this evening, you know, I just can't emphasize enough that this vehicle is definitely a standalone product that you're going to be really happy with. But let me tell you, if you're the guy that's riding around the Highline, Porsche, Cayenne, or the Mercedes-Benz high-end, you know, you're not going to like this vehicle. And the reason you won't is because it's a truck-like SUV, four-wheel drive, you know, vehicle. It's not that plush, you know, Mercedes-Benz, trying to think of the model, that high-end, you know, SUV. So, you know, you're not going to get that out of this. You know, the guys that are the true off-road, four-wheel drive, you know, individuals, you're going to love this vehicle. I mean, no doubt. And, you know, would I trade out of my 4Runner now for this? I would. I mean, before I was like, would I let my 4Runner go in place of this? And that was kind of a concern for me to get this deal bought, was the bank would be like, well, you got to give something up. I mean, I have so many vehicles. They pull my credit and go, okay, you want another freaking vehicle? It's like, why? And it's not that easy to get, you know, for me, you have no idea. Bankers look at me like, this guy's crazy, which I am. So I was really concerned that they were going to say, okay, give something up and we'll let you have this. And at that time, you know, 2 days ago, I'd have told you, am I part with my 4Runner to buy one of these? I would have said, no way. I'd have said, no, I ain't doing it. But now, after driving it, I tell you right now, yeah, now knowing this, I would be like, yeah, this is dangerous. You know why? I got another Bronco in order coming in any day. Oh gosh, now I'm talking myself into my next Bronco. Oh no, this ain't good. Because now, get this, I have another Bronco coming in, 2-door, and do I part with my 4Runner for that vehicle? Uh-oh. This is dangerous. Yikes. I don't know. I'm a thinker. I got to think about this for a while. Yikes. Let's not ruin the moment with my Red Hot Chili Peppers Hot Pepper Red Bronco. Oh my gosh. Oh, jeez. All right, back up to speed in the H2 Bronco. You know, I'm telling you, this is the H2, right? You know, I think some people will be offended. Are you gonna be offended by me saying it's the H2? This is the H2, man. Resurrected. Kinda. Maybe. I don't know. Yikes. All right, as I continue my driving today, you know, something I'm thinking about is what's really nice about this vehicle. You can see my seating posture where, you know, this vehicle, my seat's kind of down low. It's not even up real high, but it gives you that you know, lounge chair type of seating where your legs aren't like straight out. And that's something I talk about in my other videos. You know, some of these smaller, you know, platform vehicles, you kind of have your legs like stretched out in front of you. So what happens is your tuchus, your bottom, takes a lot of beating out of the posture of your vehicle. So that, like, your lower back and your actual, you know, bottom are getting more impact because you have no support with your legs because you're just kind of straight out. And I've known that from riding around in vehicles all my life that it's a huge difference in you being, you know, tired or, you know, you're still pretty healthy and strong to keep on riding around your vehicle. It is a big something people don't realize, or you don't even hear people really talk about it, but you know, once again, a lot of vehicles that are smaller, you're literally like laid out with your legs like straight out in front of you, and it's a really bad posture for your body riding around a vehicle. So that's a plus on this vehicle, you know. And as I continue to ride around, you know, things that are popping in my head is, you know, this is a rigid, you know, ride. I mean, this is definitely, and that's something I do remember now mentioning to myself when I first drove this Bronco, and I think it was a wild track back in September, is, you know, this is a stiffer suspension. So if you ride down the road in a Raptor truck, you know, that thing just eats up the bumps. It just soaks it up. If you ride down the road in a 4Runner, you know, it just sucks up the bumps. So this vehicle definitely does have more of that bounce, that truck. And that's what I was saying, you know, earlier is, wow, this truck really is it's a truck. I mean, it rides like a truck because it has that stiffer suspension, and, you know, and you do get more of that, you know, beefy, you know, for the guys and the gals too, but it gives you that more of that retro four-wheel, you know, heritage type of feel. So I mentioned earlier too that, you know, if you're the guy that's coming out of a Highline SUV and you get this vehicle, you know, I would honestly say a lot of those type of people would be like, this isn't what I was expecting. And that's where I think that maybe, you know, I've voiced is the Bronco a fail, you know, in that aspect. I think somebody that thinks this is some luxurious riding, you know, SUV, they're going to be like, whoa, this isn't anything that I thought it would be. This drives more like a truck type of vehicle. So not a negative, but it's a reality that, you know, okay, if you're jumping out of your really plush, you know, Infiniti, or, you know, your Lexus, or, you know, even the Toyota 4Runner guys, you know, if you're used to that really comfortable, absorb the bumps, you know, doesn't kind of beat you up vehicle, then this Bronco is going to be disappointing because it is the real, you know, truck-like type of feel vehicle, which it does give you that, you know, badass, you know, type of feel. You're in this big beefy, you know, big tires, lifted up, you know, it's a really cool feel. But at the same time, you know, it's not that, you know, comfy, you know, that pillow soft type of ride. And that was a concern of mine, was, is this going to have that SUV crossover, you know, riding vehicle? And I just thought, wow, this is as big and beefy as it is, and it radiates that, rides like that, I'm thinking it's going to be kind of like wimpy. So, you know, the plus and minuses, and like anything, it's what fits the seat of your pants. As I continue my adventures in my red hot chili pepper Bronco, hot pepper red name paint. Hey, I had one of those Jeep Gladiators. Not bad. Those tracked a little better. They got that Ram 1500 rear suspension, so it did drive a little nicer. I just didn't like that V6 motor. They put that 392 motor in that'd be pretty sweet. Which they've talked about it, but we shall see. So is it the Jeep versus the Bronco? Is that the new, like the Camaro against the Camaro against the Mustang type of thing, or the Challenger against the Camaro, or whatever it may be? Wow, wow, wow! Having fun! What a blast! I'm gonna tell you, this Bronco is a blast. It's badass. I mean, it really is. I mean, I am so happy now that I bought this, and you have no idea. I've said it 10 times today. How I thought maybe I'd be like, nah, it's not that exciting. It's exciting. Bing, boom, ba, right? Yippity, zippity, doo, da. Hey, how many miles am I got this bad boy? Let's check it out. Look there, huh? 191 miles. So, picked her up with 7 miles, I think it was. And we're definitely gonna get some miles on her this weekend. There goes the Jeep Gladiator, man. There's my adaptive cruise, which is really nice. And I had that in my Jeep Gladiator. Crazy. I did sell that thing for my Ford F-150 Super Snake, so not like I didn't let it go for something nicer, but I had a nice one. It was nice. Sometimes I think I shouldn't let it go, but oh well. Then would I have one of these as well, right? So I told my daughter, well, our first fill up now, it's not like I'm empty, but I got a lot of driving to do tomorrow, so figure I'll take advantage of being right by my Costco and get some gas. Now, I'm assuming I should put premium in this bad boy. I'm sure some here will know that answer better than me, listening to my video, but that's my plan. So, how are we doing on the fuel mileage? I've been working on a truck all day, so not bad actually, considering it's a really cold day. And truck's been running like all day. So, you know, but I'm reading on the forum, that's kind of what guys are getting, 17, you know. Get 20 out of it, probably can if you're not too hard on it and just can stay on the highway, which, what do you expect? Right? What are you expecting on the baddest ass production Bronco vehicle at this time? Right? Yeah. I mean, it is a really badass vehicle. I mean, I can confirm that. If you look at my collection of vehicles that I've owned, I'm not embellishing here. You know, I was at the Defender 90. Like, I was gonna maybe get the Defender 90. Nah. That was one of those things where it's built like in Czechoslovakia. I mean, talk about cheesy and cheap. Sorry, Defender 90 guys. Yeah, you know, I've always wanted one. Just about got the wife to buy one back like 1998. That would have been a hell of an idea. But yeah. All right, now one thing I have not done is the stop and go adaptive cruise. Now, a lot of people on the forum are griping about this start-stop engine technology, which I've been around it long enough now, or it doesn't really faze me, but if you're new to it, then I get it. It does bug you. Some guys are even going to the point that they're getting into the forescan and reprogramming their ECM to override that, you know. So, or you just go to the sport mode, which you dial that in there, and the GOAT, and I think that, like all my other Ford vehicles, it disables that start-stop. So if you want to go to sport mode, there's your answer. I don't want to go to sport mode yet. I want to just keep on kind of babying this thing because always, as we all know, the unfortunate conversation is the 2.7 motor detonating. Yikes. There's a lot of Bronco owners out there that no issues, but then there's another few out there that we know of with major issues. So, yikes. Mine was built at the end of December. So, I don't know. I mean, did they resolve that problem by then? I doubt it. So let's just hope for the best. That's all you can do. You never know what lies around the corner, do we? Live life the fullest right now. And the baddest ass, most recent purchase for me. Are you sick of it? Are you sick of me telling you that's the baddest ass? SUV, 4-wheel drive Bronco, wild track. Yeah, I get it. It's badass. Right? It's like this guy's losing it. That red hot chili pepper is definitely getting into his system, man. That hot pepper red. Yeah, I get it. All right, well, we're coming to the end of the day, and I'm going to end it here, and then I'm going to do another video tomorrow. How about that idea? Are you like, oh my God, another day of you yakking? Another day of us, no, don't do it. Yeah, do it. We want to hear more Bronco conversation. When I was the baddest ass production released Bronco ever. I didn't say it's the baddest ass SUV ever. I said the baddest ass Bronco SUV ever. All right, thanks for watching. Ice Age TV.